welcome to Chris's Creations. I'm a vegetarian for the last year, almost 2 years. It's really made me get a lot fitter, a lot healthier, and a lot of my friends and family have actually seen the transformation and they'd like to get some recipes. So I thought, I'll show you guys just how easy it is to eat clean and tasty food. Alright, let's get this started. What you're going to need, first off, a nice big pot with a lid. And I want this lid to be nice and airtight, not too big, not too small, actually for this, and a nice deep pot. Alright, so we'll get this over here. The thing I like most about vegetarian cooking is one pot is all you need and one utensil, and so my partner will say it's a lot easier to clean up, so we're happy with that. Alright, we just go through the ingredients here. We got salt and pepper, very important, seasoning. Olive oil, most important I think in all of cooking, because you just need that. If it's not there, you got problems.
This is a clove of garlic.
Chili and garlic.
First you've just got to crush the outer shell. Yep, just peel it back like a peanut shell, I suppose. You get it out, and inside the garlic there's little cloves. Alright, you got 3 cloves here. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Now what you need to do, there's a hard core on either side, so you just slice both sides off. That's one side. Flip it over. Yep, 2 sides. You still got a skin, so you got to crush the garlic a little bit, and it just makes that a little bit easier to peel off. Yeah, I'm just struggling a little bit with this, but yep, just if you get a little knife sometimes, flick it out, makes it a bit easier. Alright, got it. That's your garlic. Whoop, dropped it. Yep, there's your garlic. Alright, now you just need to slice it nice and fine. The finer you can slice it, the better, because that'll just make it break down. And the little trick I've got, if you can see my finger, it's just guiding the knife. It's not where the blade is, but it's just keeping it nice and straight. Alright, you want to just keep cutting over a few times just so it's nice and fine. Because, yeah, big chunks of garlic isn't the best of thing. But in this case, it's not so bad because it'll all break down, so you won't even know. Chili. Alright, now you can probably notice I'm just wiping these chilies off because I've got a little trick to keep them hot and fresh. I keep them in the freezer and then just pull them out when I need them. Alright, same as the garlic, we're just finely slicing them. Just same again, keeping your finger as that guide, and yeah, just keep going until they're nice and thin, and yeah, that's about it. Pretty simple.
This really just brings out the natural flavour in most vegetables, so very important. We got a tin of tomatoes. I haven't got them endorsing me, so I'm not going to tell you what, but most diced tomatoes are all good. We got coconut milk, just the little one. Coconut cream is fine. It just adds that little bit of richness. It goes down really nicely. Alright, these are my vegetables. I've got onions. These are nicely sliced.
Okay, here's the onion. Same as the garlic, you just got to take off the 2 edges because it's hard and bricky. So you take the 2 edges, then you cut it down the middle, and you've got the outer core just like the same as the garlic. Once you get that skin off, you just I mean, I'm going to introduce you to my favorite kitchen tool in a minute. If you haven't got it, you can just finely slice onions like you did the garlic and the chili. But this is the bad boy come up. Get ready for it. Here it is. My mandolin slicer. Alright. Get the handle. Where is my slicer? Where is it? There it is. Alright, all you have to do is look up and down, and look at the slices. Look how fine that is. This was an old thing that Charlotte's mum had laying around, never used, and I found it, and my god, do I use the hell out of it.
Finely sliced. This is something that I don't think a lot of people do. I'm pretty sure I invented this, but I kind of 100% say I did.
Alright, broccoli pulp. First you want to get the broccoli, and you want to sort of just chop it up into rough, smaller pieces. because I'm about to show you a pretty important part of my cooking. It's the next gadget that I use. But yeah, so just roughly see how I'm sort of almost dicing it. If you can dice broccoli, that's what I'm doing. And so there you go. Here it is. This is just a kitchen whiz. I mean, you can get these from Harvey Norman for about, $20 odd. They're not an expensive thing, and it comes with a few different attachments. Like it's actually a wand, so you can use it for whizzing up sauces and stuff. But this is an extra attachment, sort of like a mini food processor. So that goes in, and if you notice, I'm using the stalk as well, so nothing goes to waste. I'm gonna whiz that up. Just give it a bit of a shake so the bigger chunks get to the bottom. Give it a bit of a whack. Yep, shaking it. Just so you can have a quick look at it, to see if you've got most of the chunks out. Shake. Open up, and there you go. See that pulp? That's perfect.
I call this broccoli pulp, and it's just a brilliant thing because a lot of people, broccoli is kind of hard to eat, so this is good because it breaks down into your sauce, so you get all the nutrients from it without all the chewing. And I'm a pretty lazy eater, and I want my nutrients quick, and that is very good. And this is the vegetarian's meat. This is my sliced mushroom.
Just need you to finely slice these mushrooms, and once again I use my mandolin slicer, but this time I've actually used mushrooms that were on sale, so they're a bit soft and they're not slicing as nice. As you can see on the other chopping board, I've used a knife to slice those, so yeah, they're done a bit nicer, but it's still going to be good.
These guys could not be a vegetarian without them. And we got grated carrot.
This is my new baby. This is my Jamie Oliver food processor. This thing, it retails at Harvey Norman for $220, but if you head down to Harvey Norman Geraldton, ask for John, I'm pretty sure he'll give you a pretty good deal. Now what you'll need to do is grate these carrots, but look at this, watch this, ready? Bam! Gone. Carrot grated, done. That's a 10-minute job for 3 carrots. But and you watch how nice these are grated as well, I might just add. Money well spent. Thanks, Johnny.
Alright, let's get this party started. Alright, first, just get this pot warming up. Just put on a medium to low heat while that's heating up. Get your olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. If you get your pure olive oils, they're a little bit too strong and they overtake, so you just want nice light olive oil. So can you see? Just a few splashes. You just want to cover the bottom, just a nice little coat like that. Okay. And what we do with the olive oil, because this is the main base flavour for everything. So you want to get this really intense flavour. So you get your chili and garlic in. Where's my little spoon gone? Chili and garlic in. And what that chili and garlic will do, it'll break down and infuse its flavours into the oils, and then that'll pass through the whole dish. So just turn the heat up a little bit so I get a little bit of sizzling happening.
Just got the back, yeah.
It's better. And you can actually start to smell the aromas coming off, and that's when you know it's just getting there. We don't actually want to cook these, so we don't want to brown them. We just want to infuse the oil. So just a light, once it starts bubbling, just put it on a low heat. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, you can smell that. You walk into a house and you smell garlic and olive oil, and you know that person knows how to cook. Alright. You can see just the little smaller pieces are just starting to brown a little bit. That's when you want to go, right, next step. And the next step are your onions. Alright, and you just want to loosen them up a little bit because you don't want them clogging together. So when you're over here, just slowly sprinkle them on. Put all them in. Alright. Give that a nice stir up. Just so everything's nice and coated. Turn it up a little bit. As you can hear, it's not sizzling as much. That's because those onions are quite cold, so they've cooled off your oil. So what it's gonna make it take a little bit longer to cook. So what I like to do is just put the lid on. Putting the lid on, because there's a bit of moisture in that onions. So what will happen is the moisture from the onions will rise and turn into steam. That'll warm the onions up a lot quicker. And that's what I'm all about with my cooking. You see, this is pulp broccoli. So, you know, broccoli is going to take a lot longer to cook, but when you've got it as a pulp like this, it's going to break down a lot quicker. Same as a grated carrots. Carrots take forever to cook. So a lot of people won't even put carrots in their food just for that reason. So this is all about fast, effective cooking. So, you know, you spend a little bit of time with your preparation, but once you get to the cooking stage, you're mint. Just have a look at that. Yeah, you see, you can see the steam coming off when I took the lid off. Just turn that up a bit. Yeah, and what you're looking for is all these onions to get limp and see-through. They need to break down. I'll just put that lid back on for a minute. I'm just turning that up a little bit, just get a bit of sizzle going. Once again, you don't want to brown these. You're just breaking them down. The chef term for it is you're sauteing these onions. English terms are, or Australian terms, just cooking them down a little bit until they're nice and see-through, and they're not going to be crunchy. They're just going to be a background sort of ingredient, you know, flavour. You're not even going to know these are here. Alright, so that's getting to where I want it to be, so I'm going to put that on low. Alright, now my next intense flavour I'm looking for is mushrooms. I put the mushrooms with the olive oil, with the onions, with the chilli, with the oil. That's going to be my main flavour. So I really want to intensify these flavours and get that into the oil. So once again, stir that around, get it all nice and coated. And again, you can hear that stopped sizzling because the heat's gone out of it because those mushrooms are cold. So I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, first I'm just going to, something I like to do is just get a bit of extra olive oil onto those mushrooms. Just so I get some more of that mushroomy flavour infused into the dish. So lid on, turn that up a bit. You keep an ear out, and what you're waiting for is a bit of a sizzle. Once it's sizzling, that means it's actually cooking again, and you don't necessarily want that right now. So you're just warming the mushrooms through. Yep, see that? You can see they're starting to darken a bit. That means they're starting to break down, and they're taking on the oil. See how it's nice and shiny? So that's all breaking down to be the base. Oh, that's really starting to smell nice now. Alright, yeah, so that's another base flavour. So what I like to do when I've got one step of a base flavour, so your onions and your mushrooms, I'm going to leave that and I'm actually going to let that cook. So the bottom sort of what they call caramelising, which is darkening, so it's going to thicken, and that's just going to be a very strong mushroomy, oniony flavour, and I want that really to come through at the end. So I'm just going to leave that for maybe 30 seconds. So I've just turned that up, just want an intense heat. So it's really starting to bubble now. The mushrooms are starting to release their flavors. The onions have got their flavors. The chili, the garlic, it's all having a big party inside this pot right now. Just leave it for another 10 seconds. You don't want to burn it. You're just getting a little bottom layer of caramelization. And if you have a look, because see-through cup, you can see the liquid actually is rising a bit. So that means a lot of the juices are starting to release, and that's what you're looking for. Alright, we'll just have a look. Yeah, see, it's a nice sizzle. It's got a darker sort of caramelly sort of colour now. And this should just almost be sticking to the bottom, but not sticking. You don't want it to stick. There you go. See how it's all nice and broken down? This is your base. This is where the flavour is strongest. See, this is where usually you'd have some sort of meat, but I mean, really, why would you want to eat meat when you can eat this? Alright. That's smelling where it needs to be. Nice, and all the onions are see-through. The mushrooms are all nice and shriveled. Alright, I'm just going to let that with the lid off on a medium heat for a second, just to get rid of some of that moisture, because what happens, obviously, if you heat up water, it turns into steam vapor and it leaves. So there's a bit of moisture in there, so you leave the lid off. That moisture is going to rise away, and it's going to intensify the flavours. Alright. My favourite. Broccoli pulp. Alright? And how do you normally cook broccoli? You steam it, right? So I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but use the steam from my mushroom, so I get that mushroomy flavour through the broccoli. Alright, so that goes in. Same thing, just give it a nice stir around. And the same thing, you see the sizzling's dead. Broccoli is cold, so you're just going to turn that up just above medium, lid on. You're going to let that heat up, and that's going to start steaming, and that'll cook your broccoli in no time. Alright, you got to listen. See, because you think, cooking's about smelling, tasting, but it's also about hearing. You've got to listen, you've got to wait for that sizzle to rise back up again. You can hear it's just starting to build up, so I'm just going to open that lid. See the steam? So the broccoli's letting go of its moisture now. She's not quite there yet. Yeah, see how it's sizzling? There's no moisture at the moment. So we're going to put that lid on and we'll build that moisture up again. Starting to sizzle again. But the broccoli, you sort of want to steam a lot longer, because I mean, it all will eventually break down to a nice sauce. It will eventually get there into that nice sauce, but broccoli, I mean, I like it, that little bit meatier so you can taste the broccoli, but for this dish, you want the broccoli to break down to almost nothing, so it just becomes a meaty sauce. So although broccoli is brilliant like that, just sort of fresh and just steamed, so you've got a nice flavour. For this dish, I want it broken down into the sauce. So it's you won't even, people will eat that and they won't know it's there, but they'll get all the benefits from it. Alright, you see that steam? That's the broccoli now, it's steaming up. And you can see it's turning to a nice dark green colour because it's taking on the mushrooms. I'm just going to have a quick taste, give it a season. See what it needs. That's well on its way. Now salt and pepper is purely to your taste. When you're eating healthy, you leave this to the end for yourself. So if you're cooking if you're taking that dish to a dinner party, I'd season it. If you're eating it yourself at home, I would leave the seasoning till at the end, because then you don't have to put as much in. Stir that around nicely. Alright, lid back on. Just going to steam that so it breaks down a little bit more. And that's the other secret to my sauce. Everything is so finely grated. You know, you got your pulled mushroom. It all breaks down, and it's just like a thick, chunky, rich, vitamin-filled sauce. You know, you could really eat this by itself. Like there's nothing, but this it's just so flavoursome. You can eat a lot of it and not feel sick, and it's just full of energy. It's just great stuff. Alright, that's starting to see the liquid just starting to come now, just in the little pools. That means we're almost there. Just taste that. Broccoli softening up. Yeah. The broccoli needs to be nice and soft, so no crunch, just really soft. See how that's starting to turn into a mulch almost? That's where you want to be. And what that means is the next thing, carrots. Carrots. Here we go. Actually, I'm probably just going to use that amount. I'll put it on. So that's probably about a carrot and a half. Carrot and a half grated. Look at the vibrant orange colour. Alright, keep that a nice stir through. Just want it nice mixed. Once again, sizzling's gone down, so what do? Lid back on. So just like the broccoli, the carrot actually takes a bit of cooking. So you just want to give it a 5 minutes of just the moisture to build up, steam come, and just steam those carrots so they're nice and soft. Alright, while those carrots are cooking, this is called my red sauce. And it's brilliant, like I said before, with a pasta, with rice, or just by itself. But it is actually just one part of my signature dish, which is my vegetarian lasagna. That basically what I'm doing this video is so I don't have to sit down and write a recipe. Everyone can just have a look and get into it. So this is the red sauce, and my next video I'll be making is my white sauce. So when you have lasagna, you normally have your meat, your mincy red sauce, and then a ham, pasta sheet, and then like a white creamy sauce. So I've got a vegan white sauce that I make as well, and that'll be next. And then I'll make a third video, and the third video will actually be me making the lasagna from scratch. So instead of, you know, going step by step, it's just, they're going to be probably 3 short videos. So you will learn to read the red sauce, you will learn the white sauce, and then you do it all together on one day, and you make a lasagna, and you'll be the life of the party if you can pull off this lasagna. Alright, see the steam's starting to come out, so that means there's a lot of steam in there. There you go. Sizzling away. No moisture just as yet, so we're just going to give that a bit of a stir. Get it all moving. New ingredient in there. There's a new ingredient there, so we're just going to season the new ingredient. We'll give that a stir. Just a I can't stress this point enough out of cooking that taste your food. You need to taste your food. You can't get to the end and go, oh, what did I miss out? If you're constantly tasting it, I mean, you won't be able to eat afterwards because you're too full from eating your ingredients, but taste your food, because if you get to the end and go, oh, hang on, I forgot that. You know, if you do your steps and keep tasting along the way, that won't happen, because you'll know straight away what's missing and you can add it at the time. Alright, this is almost there. We're just gonna just have a taste. Almost there. Carrots like the broccoli, you want to be very soft. So tender that they're melting in your mouth, because when you have the sauce at the end, you don't want crunch. You want everything to be just the sauce. You want people to think, oh, it's just a tomato sauce, you know. No, but really, look at all the stuff that's gone into it. It's more than a tomato sauce. Just turn that up a little bit. All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can see just there, the moisture on the bottom means we're getting somewhere. Alright, now this, you've got all your main flavour ingredients now. This is another step that I like to do. I'm just going to leave that on a high heat. It's going to intensify. Now this, I really want you to be careful with doing this, because what we're doing, we've got it on high. So just the bottom layer of your mushrooms, your broccoli and your carrots, onions. You just want to, you don't want to burn it, you don't want it to stick, but you just want that caramelization, so that it's just really going to bring all those flavors all the way through. Because at the moment, they're nice and they're subtle, but this is just like adding that extra layer of just intensified vegetable flavor. Now this sort of comes from practice, how long to leave it, but you just sort of, trust me, you just have to be a bit patient. Don't stir it, just let it, you know, probably, I'd say 3 minutes on high, and then that'll just give you that flavour that you're looking for. Yeah, you can smell it actually. The smell is probably the best way. You can smell the flavours coming through a lot stronger, and that's when you get that nice caramel layer. Let's have a look. There we go. You can see, look, at the bottom, just starting to stick. So I've just got that perfect. So just turn that back down again. Oh, and you can smell it coming through now. Those flavours have just kicked up another notch. Alright, you want to put that on low. Just put that lid on for a second, just let that steam through. Alright, the next part. Diced tomato puree. This is, I think it's about 500 grams. You can, yeah, it's up to you. this part is how tomato you like it. I mean, you can, the more you use, the more saucier it's going to use. The less you use, the richer and punchier the tomatoey flavour is going to be. So I like a really rich sauce. And let's see where we're at. Alright, so that's beautiful. That's just where we want it. It's just all nice and soft now. You can see, look, see how soft that is? Beautiful, all broken down nicely. Okay, this is a trick I do. I get gradually, just a little bit. See how much? Just a little bit of sauce. Just work it through. Probably got a little bit more, probably half. Yep, half a tin. And you want to get that to a rampant boil. See how it's just combining all the sauce together, but it's not actually a full-on sauce yet. So you want that same thing, turn it up high, because that's going to give you that rich tomato flavour now. New ingredients, salt, pepper. And you can smell the tomatoes coming through. Alright, once the tomato flavours infuse and you can see the liquids coming up again, the rest of the tomato sauce goes in. And you put that on a low heat now, because you don't want it evaporating. You want it. This is where your sauce is starting to come to life now. It's medium heat. So you can actually have a look, and if you looked at that quickly, does that not look like a bolognese sauce? Alright, once that all stirred, what are we doing? We're having a taste. With salt. Alright, bring it up to the boil. Once you see your pools of water bubbling hard and they're coming through, put your lid on it, low heat. Now this next part is purely up to you. I mean, I really like a rich, intense sauce, so I'll actually leave that on low heat with the lid on and go about my, no, don't leave the house, but maybe chuck on a movie or do something else, and every so often come back and check. So then for an hour, hour and a half, it'll break down to just absolutely, you won't even know what's in that because it's just all broken down to a beautiful, rich sauce. But that right there, the last ingredient you add at the end is your coconut milk, and that just gives it that nice, creamy taste. You don't need this, but that's just that decadent, beautiful finish to it. But yeah, that is actually ready. So you can just sort of another half an hour with the lid on, and it'll be a nice sauce. You turn it for 2 hours on a low heat. That is a fantastic, rich vegetable sauce. So it's purely up to you. You can see how the moisture is all, that's the carrot's juice, that's the tomato juice. So that's just going to continue breaking down.
Alright, you can just see that water that's left is actually rich and it's full of flavour. That's where you want it. Just gonna get that a little bit higher. All the liquid that is actually left to see now, it's actually a orange juice, so it's at that point put in your coconut milk, cream, whatever. Give that a nice stir. Not only does this give it a nice richness, but it brings it all together nicely. See the nice creamy texture that's brought. Just stir that in. Put that on low. And give that a taste. Oh yeah. Salt. Let's finish it. There it is. Heat off. You see the liquid is gone. See that? It's all sauce now.
Well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you learned something. That is just like, me and Charlotte will be eating that for the week. That is, you know, you just don't get sick of that. That's your lunches, that's done. So hopefully I've just got to learn how to make this video, and I'll get the second part too, which is going to be my white sauce. That was Chris's first creation, and I'll see you next time. Bye.